Sometimes an actor can be so typed and stylized that we never really get a chance to know what they're really like, and this is true of any of the Three Stooges.
For over 30 years, no one dared to touch Moe Howard's garage. Tightly sealed behind his Toluca Lake home, it held a mystery that even his closest family didn't fully understand. But when it was finally open, what emerged wasn't just old props or comedy relics. It was a stunning truth that would forever reshape how the world remembers the face of the Three Stooges. Hidden inside was a secret legacy, carefully preserved by the man who made millions laugh. What was he hiding, and why? You won't believe what they discovered inside. To the world, Moe Howard was the tough-talking, slap-happy face of the Three Stooges. He was the one slapping Larry and Curly, barking orders, and bringing chaos to every scene. But the man behind the character was someone few really knew. Born Moses Harry Horowitz in Brooklyn in 1897, Moe was nothing like his on-screen persona. He was a devoted husband, a loving father, a book collector, a multilingual speaker, and a quiet intellectual who read poetry and wrote it, too. His home wasn't a mansion like many of his Hollywood peers. Instead, it was a single-story house nestled in a peaceful residential street where he chose privacy over fame. That garage, however, was different. It stood apart. Not just physically but symbolically. Moe would spend hours in there, especially in his final years. Friends often recalled the sound of boxes being moved, papers being shuffled, and the door being locked carefully behind him. In his interviews, he'd refer to it simply as my dream, but never explain further. When he passed in 1975, his will explicitly stated that the garage should remain sealed for 3 decades. The reasoning was a mystery, but what waited inside would answer that question and then some. The garage was a time capsule carefully preserved and deliberately hidden. Inside, the world didn't just discover old scripts or dusty props. They uncovered a meticulously organized archive that documented the entirety of Moe's personal and professional journey. It was more than memorabilia. It was proof of who Moe Howard truly was and what he valued most. Not laughter, not applause, but legacy. Though Moe Howard played the slap-happy enforcer on screen, he was the brains behind the Three Stooges empire. While fans watched the physical comedy, Moe was behind the scenes managing contracts, negotiating with studios, planning tours, and keeping the act afloat through decades of Hollywood change. Hidden in the garage were business records that documented how he kept the Stooge brand alive and profitable from the 1930s through the 1960s. Rare contracts from Columbia Pictures, signed by Moe, Larry, Curly, and Shemp, outline the business structure that underpinned their comedic success. Also among the findings were over 300 original scripts, some handwritten and filled with Moe's personal revisions. One of the most treasured pieces was the original draft of Three Little Pickens from 1934, the turning point when the Three Stooges truly became their own act. The attention to detail in these documents showed how deeply Moe cared about the act, not just as a performance, but as a lasting brand. Yet perhaps the most surprising find wasn't on paper, it was on wheels, parked right in the center of the garage. Under a protective cover was Moe Howard's prized 1950 Cadillac Series 60 sedan. This wasn't a collector's showpiece. It was the car he drove daily, took on family trips, and loved dearly. For Moe, that Cadillac wasn't just a luxury vehicle, it was a symbol of everything he had achieved. From growing up poor in Brooklyn to achieving stardom in Hollywood, the car represented the American dream realized. Documents inside the garage revealed his deep love for the vehicle, purchase records, personal notes about its handling, and even family photographs of Moe standing proudly beside it. One handwritten note called the car the finest reward for a lifetime of work. In a world where comedy often masked hardship, that Cadillac was a quiet but powerful monument to what Moe had built. And then came the twist, one that would challenge long-held beliefs about Moe's identity. Among the personal documents found in the garage was a passport dated May 11, 1939, signed not by Horowitz, but by Moses Howard. It wasn't a typo, it was a name variation he had used for official matters, including the first Three Stooges tour to Britain. Throughout the garage, additional legal documents and letters revealed that Moe had consciously maintained multiple versions of his name, public, private, and legal. He had crafted his identity as carefully as he had crafted every joke, every slap, and every deal. But perhaps the most touching discovery came not from scripts or contracts, but from pages of heartfelt poetry. Hidden in a drawer were handwritten poems addressed to his wife Helen and daughter Joan. One was written from a hotel room in Boston, titled My Heart's Aglow. It read like a love letter Full of warmth and sentiment, in it, Moe expressed how much he cherished his family, ending with the words, "You're all I want." You three. These weren't just emotional expressions, they were proof of a man far more tender than his public image ever allowed. Photographs found in the garage showed early performances with his brother Shemp under the act. Howard and Howard. Long before the Three Stooges were born, family scrapbooks documented their lives off-stage weddings, vacations, home life. There were even 16mm home movies capturing holidays, birthday parties, and quiet family moments. These were the memories Moe held closest. The ones he never shared with the world but chose to preserve for future generations. In total, the archive included over 1,100 items, scripts, contracts, rare international tour posters, and even the first licensed Three Stooges toys from 1937 three-hand puppets that had survived intact for decades. Posters like the one from the 1935 short Uncivil Warriors were found in mint condition, later valued at over $30,000. These weren't just fan relics. They were historical artifacts that captured the rise of a comedy empire that, as Moe Howard's health began to decline in the 1970s, he spent more and more time curating this legacy. Tucked among the documents was what appeared to be the draft of an autobiography, complete with annotations and corrections. It wasn't ready for publishing, but it was meant to be found. Alongside the manuscript were legal documents outlining exactly how his estate and the garage should be handled. Moe had given instructions to preserve everything as one unified collection, not to be sold off or scattered, and he ordered it sealed for 30 years. Waiting for the right moment in time, that long-awaited moment finally came, and what emerged from Moe Howard's sealed garage was not just a nostalgic collection, it was a powerful revelation. Hidden behind locked doors for over 30 years was the complete portrait of a man the world had only partially known. While Moe had spent his career making millions laugh with slapstick antics and outrageous comedy, his final years were devoted to something far deeper, preserving the truth of who he really was. Inside the garage lay undeniable proof of his intellect, sharp business sense, artistic soul, and unwavering love for his family. This wasn't merely a room of forgotten props, it was a sacred space of memory, identity, and legacy. Moe Howard had taken control of his own story, choosing to be remembered not just as the brash leader of the Three Stooges, but as a man of vision and emotion, and at the heart of it all sat his prized 1950 Cadillac Series 62. Gleaming like a silent guardian of his legacy, to others, it was just a car. To Moe, it was the embodiment of everything he worked for. A simple note left with it said, "It's my dream, and now the world finally sees why." So while the world knew Moe Howard for the slaps, the shouts, and the wisecracks, the real man was writing a different punchline, one filled with love, legacy, and laughter. Like, share, and subscribe for more untold Hollywood stories. Thanks for watching.